Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be checking in. This is Tara Lee Live, and I am here with my co-host, Drake. Good morning, Drake.
Good morning. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello. Are we ready to get the bake on today or what?
I'm always ready to get the bake on with you, Tara. That's for sure. So I'll load something up right away, and I hope everyone else is in the exact same boat as us and ready to fire up this fine morning or afternoon if you're on the East Coast.
All right. Well, I went to the dispensary, and as usual, I have my 7. I can't even hold them all, but like my 7 grams of dabs that I normally have to go through for the week. So I've got a bit of a selection to smoke. It's kind of nice having a selection. I can't lie. I am gonna go on whatever one. This one I don't know. I don't want to go on that one. I want like missing grape or sour apple or one of those chirps for this morning. It's one of these saucy ones. Let's see what this saucy one is. Missing gold. That's the one. Good morning, Bingo Lombardi. Hello. How are you all out there? Ready to get the bake on this morning? Welcome. We're gonna Drake's gonna go out and do a garden tour in a little while this afternoon. And then we also have the link out to a few other people. I don't know if anybody's gonna be joining us yet. We'll see who. It's always a surprise. We never really know, do we, Drake?
No, not for some of these more sporadic shows. We just enjoy when anyone comes on or just session with everyone in general.
And are you quiet again? Is Drake quiet on your guys' end out there? Let me know.
Let me know. Do I gotta yell at you guys?
Yes.
Is that what you need from me?
Yes.
Is this what you want?
Yes.
I can do it. But I'll forget in like 30 seconds. So as long as just a couple gentle reminders and we'll be good to go. I'll get the damn Yeti eventually, I swear.
Are you still doing the 10-second tech, by the way?
Yeah. I just heat the walls for maybe a little longer with my banger and with the size dabs. I heat the walls for like 5 seconds or so on each side of the banger, on each side from the left to the right, and then a little bit in the middle. Then I go underneath and I do the same thing about 5 to 7 seconds and then go pretty much directly in. You just got to gauge it to the size of your dabs, and that one will do a pretty good size, like probably like a 0.2, 0.3 with a minimal reheat. So let's get in there. Let's find out.
All right.
You've got the missing gold. Is it missing the terps or is it still nice?
Missing gold has chirps. I like it. It's a very nice, energetic high for me. Gets me going in the morning.
Oh, that's wicked.
Missing grape and missing gold were the 2, but now is that really cultivars? Who knows?
Yeah. The one was missing the grape.
Extraction artists name whatever they want to name things, I guess. I don't know if there's actually a cultivar called that out there. That'll be
all sorts of stuff going on. We've got different quote unquote breeders that just take other people's lines and then just rename them without necessarily reworking them. I think working someone's, everyone that's releasing stuff, they obviously want everyone to use it and grow it and work it and all that fun stuff, but they don't necessarily want someone to just take that exact thing, reverse it, and then sell it as their own name, their own stock. And maybe I'm misnomering a little bit here, but yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff where just creative names come up, or this was a strawberry cut or a strawberry pheno or a strawberry genetics in general, and I'm mixing it with my kush, and even though my plant doesn't come off strawberry at all, this is now strawberry kush. And then some silly little patient like myself goes, oh my goodness, I love those terpenes, that's great. And then we get it, and then all of a sudden we've got kush. Missing strawberry is what we'd call it. There we go. Now we've got missing strawberry too, just like that. So we got to be careful with some of that stuff because, like you said, it can add to a lot of confusion.
There should be one called missing marbles.
Missing marbles.
That would be a good strain name.
That'd be my strain, missing marbles.
Because you would be missing your marbles after you dab it. Might be like dabbing your marbles out. That'd be kind of funny.
What if they're missing before the dab? Then what? I'll need to give me my marbles back. Cultivar.
There's no help. Sorry, no help.
Okay, maybe something really piney, actually.
No help for you.
Pine helps with the memory.
So this week we were chatting in Discord, and I didn't realize that I think it's in Seattle. We have like the world's first human composting facility. Did you know that?
I've read something about this before, but I guess I didn't really key in on that conversation when you were having it or see it. So you've got
Look, I'm going to share this on this. This is not cannabis related, but I found this very interesting. Look at this.
You mean they're not growing cannabis out of us?
That would be cool. But check that out.
Very interesting. And I mean, that's a very
But
controversial
that's
topic,
back
I'm
in
sure.
December 2nd of 2019.
I was going to say, I read this a
it.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Well,
never even heard of it.
Years ago.
Interesting.
It makes sense too, right? Like we pay a lot of money for this very, very nice casket sometimes, generally ones that are set with all sorts of different products so that they won't break down very much over time. And then they encase us in there and then we don't break down, we don't give back, when in turn, that's kind of what we're made to do, right? We come from dust, let's go back to the dust. Let's not
we
vault. And
we were talking about that, how, we should give back to the earth. We harvest so much from the earth and we take so much from it, and that we need to give a little bit back. And everybody's like, well, we do when we die. Well, no, we actually don't. We embalm ourselves, or we get, burnt. What's it called?
Cremation.
Cremation.
I think a bit more.
And burnt. Cremified. And so like, that's not giving back to the earth. That's not allowing the nutrients to go back like animals do and decompose and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something else. If it's something that your individual is interested in, why not, right? Like that should at least be an option, as long as there's, a way to do this safely without preventing disease and all that fun stuff that comes with it, all the other behind stuff, which I'm sure there is. So super cool nonetheless. And one of those things that could be, I mean, like think about, unfortunately, we are a species that lives and dies like most, and that happens quite rapidly. We've got billions of us on the planet. So that's a lot of waste in a sense that is not necessarily mitigated to properly, especially if we're like crips in general and shit like that. But anyways, let's get back onto the cannabis. I think rabbit holing all over here.
Well, no, that's kind of, this channel's about growing naturally, about healing naturally, and that's also dying naturally. Why not? It encompasses everything.
When I die, make me into some nutrients.
So 710 says he believes it's pronounced cream fried.
Cream fried? I think you're right, dude. I'm pretty sure.
Hey, 710, why don't you jump on here? Because you know what I would like to discuss is that seed that he popped that had twins.
Oh,
I would love for him to go into that explanation and show everybody that the cool.
Are you sure you don't have your waders on, Tara? I feel like you're fishing right now.
The screen capture, the screen capture that he talked about, how they could have twins and how one of the twins could be exactly like the mom. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
In cultivars, in strains, in cannabis, not people.
Not in people, not in mushrooms.
Yeah, sorry. What? Not talking about people here.
How weird would that be? You have two kids and one of them is just an identical version of you. My goodness.
For years, you could have your remains planted with a tree. Oh, really? Where at?
I've read that too. I've seen it at least. Michael. I didn't know if it was legit or not. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I haven't even poured my coffee. So I have some Brazilian coffee today. So we're gonna try some Brazilian coffee today. I went downtown and we bought some special coffee.
I like it. Nice, Tara.
We'll try. Special. Let's see how it is.
Yeah, that's our secret 710 though, so we keep it pretty under locks. The human JLF. That's the last key.
There you go. JLF.
The puzzle.
Drake for real.
It's what these natural farmers don't want to tell you.
Yep, I want to go back in my plants. Be planted right back in there.
All right.
Okay.
Getting ready for this dab.
My plants are doing well. Red River, by the way, you were asking, my little clones over here. I have 6 of them. I could bring them over and show you. I have one that really looks really, really well. Probably my favorite out of all of them, the way it's kind of growing. So I think I'm probably going to keep that one, and the rest of them either I'm going to kill off or somebody better come get them, because I don't want this many plants to keep track of. Hello, Salty. Good morning to you. Good morning. Okay, let's see how the coffee tastes. Tasters, this is coffee reviews this morning. Coffee and cannabis reviews. How about that?
Well, what are the notes on your coffee this morning then?
Mm,
It's a very earthy with a little bite to them, a little pepper.
They described it as I was supposed to get like chocolate notes or something. I don't know that I really get chocolate notes on it.
This one tastes like coffee, a little bit of some vanilla sweetener in there.
I got creamer and I got honey in there, so that's what it tastes like. Yeah, I don't know that I really. It's a nice flavor. I've had better. It's okay. And maybe maybe the water counts, Do you use distilled water? I used well water. Maybe I should try distilled water next time. See how that tastes.
Cheers.
Okay.
Dabs up.
It's time to take another dab. I'm time for another dab. I don't know if we're gonna have a 710. Are you gonna jump on here or what? Come on, get your butt on here. Come on.
It was about to, but there's this thing.
And get your Spanx on. Hurry up and get your Spanx on, and girdle. Get that girdle on.
Thing to take
For those of you that don't know what Spanx is, it's a girdle.
And for those of you that don't know what a girdle is, it's Spanx.
There you go. Vice versa. Gotta have it. So Drake, what are you doing if you were not going to be growing Jadam like right now, and we were going to start growing Jadam for next year, like say we're like new to all this and we want to start doing like some preps for next year, where do you think people should start right now?
I would say there's multiple ways to go about it, but a safe way and an easy way, if it's available, would just be to plant the right cover crop starting anytime soon, and possibly a little while ago, depending on what you are using, but starting a nice cover crop of plants that do not die in the winter, so they can grow very vigorously through the fall and the spring and be cut down and used as your base fertilizer to plant into. Cheers, everyone. Dabs up. I know I need more heat right away.
Cheers. Good morning, Claude. Hello to you. Glad you're here today. He says he's ready to be recycled in a compost. All right. You know what? I bet more people would be into that than we realize. I really do. I bet, especially in the cannabis community, I bet more people in the cannabis community would be open to it. What other community out there would like have more of and farming, like the farming community and that's what's so cool about not just cannabis farming, it's all farming, agriculture farming. There's a lot of people out there that are finally realizing that a lot of these, chemical companies have not been doing us very well lately. And they're realizing it as well too. They are making changes, but unfortunately not as fast as I'd like them to make, but at least they are. And a lot of people are, starting to notice, starting to change.
They're doing us the dirty.
One person at a time.
Yep, I have definitely got a nice ring of sweat, the Ross. That's how you gauge your dabs. It's kind of like the row, but a little different. You gauge how long your ring of sweat is. And if it's your whole body, it's a solid dab, and it was too hot. Whew.
Okay, well, I'm gonna heat up.
Do three of them. Johnny shows up and does the fourth one with you.
Johnny, a hot Johnny dab. Haven't had one of those. Oh yeah, in a while. And a hot
connect with John again. See what's going on.
I know. We should have. I didn't even think about throwing the link out to Johnny. I haven't talked to Johnny forever.
One of these next shows, maybe we'll pop on and see what's new. And
yeah. So everybody right now is into harvest right now. This is what's going on. So I have lots of guests coming on, but a lot of them can't come on until after harvest. So after harvest, we've got some amazing guests planned to come on. Josh Kelly, of course, will be on. Also, we got Two Dogs coming on. He's going to be coming on. He said he was free after the 17th, so maybe the next show thereafter. Have some breeders on here, talk about some cool old cultivars like Bubba. Isn't he one like an old holder of a Bubba?
Two Dog has just
God, he's so
plethora
smart.
of information regarding a lot of these old cultivars, and very respectful. And I can't wait to get into that and just hear some more of these kind of OG stories, maybe even about the OG.
We're meeting some amazing people behind the scenes, you guys, in Discord. Y'all should be joining it.
Yeah, the community in general. Make sure to source as many outlets as possible to be able to network and meet people and hear other information. There's so many shows like ourselves and other ones that are much larger that have really, really key guests on that are able to help you understand just the foundation and the formulas a little more and get different people's perspectives. Because if you're like myself at all, learning is hard. It fucking is never great in school and all this, I'm ADD out the yin and yang. Like, give me something in my hands and show me kind of how to do it. And for sure, whatever, for the most part, I can get into it real quick. But when it's like just sitting here and reading and trying to take concepts and visualize them and so on and so forth, I really need a lot of different perspectives to help make things click. And generally, it's just those random moments where you're just watching one of these things and somebody says something in a way that just makes sense to you personally. And all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, there's the key. And it just went right in.
And that's what, is so important. People are like, oh, other people are already doing this, or there's somebody else is already doing that. Well, if that was your attitude, everything would already have been done and you're not going to do anything. Because everybody, how often have you told somebody something and then someone will come along and they'll tell somebody the same thing you just told them, but they didn't hear it from you and they heard it from that other person? That happens all the time. That's just like us learning. I could learn from you, Drake. I could learn from somebody else over here. You don't know who you're going to learn something from. So you got to be open to all of that. It's amazing, all the free information that is out there right now. But also with that free information, there's a lot of misinformation that's going on. So that's one thing that we're really trying to do here. And we're really trying to get that right information to you because we don't want to mislead you down a different path. So we also have a Discord channel that has a lot of Jadam information on there. If there's anybody want on there that go ahead, Drake.
So it's only because I remembered and I will instantly forget. I've said many a time for our Jadam in general that the least amount of applications you can do is every 14 days. It is actually advised to be every 10 days. That is something that I have created. It was said to me, and we've been talking on the back end a whole bunch, and that was one of the things that was incorporated in, like, oh, you could probably get that far away. But if we want to just be talking about root of the principle and core and everything, is actually every 10 days for the minimal. So sorry, that was just I had like that lightning shoot through me and just like, oh yeah, I remember there's one of those things. So we also have to do our best to re-amend things when we make mistakes because we're human. I am not the utmost advanced human.
One more time, because you're a super fast talker. One more time, sum that up what you're restating. Bring that up, start that
I'll do
over.
it even faster. I'm practicing to be an auctioneer.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I'm not. I just can't physically help myself. And if I get excited, it's 10 times worse, as everyone can already tell. So I've said multiple times prior, when we're doing our Jadam applications in general throughout the season, we usually do either weekly, a little more or a little less applications, but weekly is kind of the moral of the story. And I've said if you want to do it kind of the most minimalistic way possible, it'd be up to every 14 days. And that was something, again, that myself and a group of other people with Tara were chatting about and could most likely work with. But then talking about that specific point again recently, that's not what's said or alluded to in the books or on the videos. It is actually 10 days is the minimal. You can do it every 7 days. And we can get into the nitty gritties of it a little more down the road. But yeah, 10 days would be the minimal. And I only bring that up because it's just one of those things that I've misspoken on. If we're going to be really anal about it. And as Tara brings up all these wonderful things, that there's so many different places with information, but in turn, we get a lot of different people's opinions and perspectives, and lots of our opinions and perspectives are just wrong sometimes because we're all learning too. And we need to do our best to re-amend those. And in general, just try and source information, or at least be delicate with how we speak so that we're not saying these concrete things in which it would be hard to fix that after, remediate it, because when you're so set in stone with one way and then something's completely different, it's hard to make that gap sometime. And then when people hear you very confident, they've got a lot more tendency to repeat that confidently before you have time to re-amend it. So it's just, again, the same thing we're always preaching.
Definitely.
Downtime.
Definitely. And 710, I sent you that link in Zoom. Let me know if I need to send it on Instagram. I can.
Well, just for 710, I'm gonna grind up some Roberts Creek Congo and vape that.
Ooh, Roberts Creek Congo. How is that Congo going out? You know what? The Congo is smelling so okay. If you guys literally, it smells like lemon cleaner. Like it literally lemon cleaner. Like, does it not, Drake? You muted yourself.
That's probably a good thing. Yes, but it's also got this wild, earthy, but not in like a super floral kind of way. I hate saying it because I feel like it's just a ripoff because it's something I just heard recently from 710 and someone else that was in the NW47 Discord, to check it out, Lemon Hoko Instagram. It's got this interesting vibe that's very similar to like I'm just gonna steal it. It's like it's carroty, it's carrot-esque, but not like for me, it's like if you break a specific carrot like right in half, right as you pull it out of the earth, or you like even rip the top of the leaf off, it has that little vibe to it. So like this, it's extremely lemony, and then it's got a little bit of that like earthy carrot-esque, but like kind of like similar herbs with that more earthy vibe that aren't super floral or citrusy or anything. I'm sure you could get like a maybe even a beet, like something odd like that, or just like something, one of those my goodness, almost tuber could be an example if you rip one of those in half. But there's again so many different ones, but very interesting front end for myself, and then again on the back end. But overall, it's just like make your eyes water, loud, lemony, citrusy. And I didn't do very well overall. Like the drying was pretty good. It got a little bit chaotic in the first couple days, but was pretty solid at set parameters. And then overall, just the Congo was in a living soil bed with a bunch of kind of wide leaf, faster finishing plants. And they do, if it was a salts environment, these are plants that'd be happy at like 1,000 or 1,200 ppm, 500 Blue Lab scale. And the Congo, I've been told, is more like a 2,000 plus if you really dial in everything in, and she's happy range. So just in the organics, I could see that as well. Like she wanted more, but overall still incredible. So sorry to go on a Congo tangent, but the Congo is worth going on a tangent for. And like slick heads, but like they got like a stick, like there's friction, but it's almost like I used like a really thick engine oil or something. Like it's not necessarily like free flowing, it's got a little resistance to it too, but it's really neat feel.
Cool. I love that way you describe it. I think that's, I like to people describe things, but you like describe it and go ahead and steal the carrot-esque smell, because that's how you're going to all learn to smell the same thing if you can't necessarily smell the same thing, right? So like it's not stealing somebody else's thing. It's just like, hey, this is a good way I heard it described.
It's like you take that lemon, that really big smell, that loudness, and you store it into like a bit of a musky, like a broom cellar or something, like down in the basement of a place. It's like a little humid all the time, and it's got that same just kind of like earthy funk that comes to it. So it's not like rotten at all. It's not sour. It's not, but it's just like you go down in that basement, you'd be like, it's a little like funky down here. What is this? Like this is interesting vibe. And then like it's with all that citrus, and it's kind of similar to like it's some vegetables that were just like fresh picked, but then sitting out a little bit in that cellar, or you same thing right out of the ground and then breaking it or something along those lines. Is kind of what I'm getting.
Cool.
Excited to vape some.
Awesome.
Wake me up a little bit.
This coffee's going down pretty good. I'm loving it. I see Dee's popped into chat. Hello, Dee. I missed you when you popped in up there. Sorry, we were talking about something. Hello. How are you today? Thanks, everybody, for joining today. We're just going to have a nice little chill and chat and hang out. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put the link in chat if anybody wants to jump in and say hello. Drake's gonna jump out and show us his garden. Oh shit, never mind. I put my Instagram link in chat. That's not what I meant to put. I meant to put the copy and paste the Zoom link. And if I know who you are able to jump in and hang out and show us your grow if you want. Dee, you're welcome to jump on. You've been on, showed us your grow. Hope you're having an awesome good morning. Claude says, Katsu? Katsu.
Sorry, in regards, yeah, I saw that before. And I totally forgot because tangents. That was in regards to Bubba, so Katsu Bubba, but he goes by Katsu Bluebird now. Yeah, lots of. I think he was on Adam Dunn show probably, and a few other ones. If you haven't heard Adam Dunn show, there's good. They go into the history.
Where is Johnny? Text him. Johnny's probably busy. He's working during the week. He's pretty busy during the week.
Yeah,
you know what? I will contact Johnny this week and I'll see if I can't get a show with Johnny. We'll get a Johnny update and also hopefully a D420K update too. I'd like to get him back on too. Miss both those guys. All those guys are just, it was nice that I saw that there was a hash church this last Sunday. I didn't watch it because I was out rock hounding. Oh, speaking of rock hounding and out mushroom hunting. Oh my gosh. So this is the coolest rock I found. I just love it. I think it is so awesome. Check this out. So I think they call this an inclusion when it actually has like this pretty rock in here. And this is like some crystal stuff like around here. And then there's like another one that's deeper in here. And there's like different colors. This is also another one. So if anybody is a rock hounder out there and you know anything about this type of stuff, oh my gosh, I want to talk to you because this would be fun to chit chat. I would really like to learn this. It's kind of something new. I've been kind of taking up. I've been watching a lot of geography information on YouTube. And there's a guy by the name of Nick that we have been following for a while. And it happened during this whole virus thing. He started doing lives on YouTube talking about the Columbia Basin because he just lives right over in Ellensburg, which is an hour away from me. And he's a professor. I think he's a teacher over there at the college there. And he literally does these videos about places in my area where to go find rocks and different types of things. And I've really, really been loving the information. And I would encourage any of you guys out there to start videoing your area. What's cool in your area? Start showing things in your area. People might really be interested in that. If you're thinking about a YouTube channel, I found it very interesting.
Yeah, I know we talked about that a little bit, probably about a year ago and stuff too, where we're just showing off a little bit of just what we get up to on the side too. And now we've just been so busy with trying to get these principles done in the gardens and everything. It's not quite as fruitful, but I think overall, if it was done, yeah, exactly, right? Because you get to see how everything's going. And even like, imagine just being able to go adventure and collect some leaf mold soil with someone while they're going out and doing that with like kind of a first-hand camera or like a GoPro or something. Like there'd be cool ways to go about this for sure. But it's time to hit the mighty and go in on some Congo. So cheers, everyone. We puffing on anything exciting out there in chat? And what do you have there, Tara?
This is Red's clone. This is the OG Red. There it is. There's the pretty one. Look, and I've got roots coming out of the bottom. So I'd say she's time to be transplanted. So I'm going to put her back over here. I have a few of those. And if you live here in Washington, I will meet you. I would love to meet you. And I would love to give you a clone. Oh my gosh, it'd be cool. I'd love to pass these ladies on to somebody. I wish these borders didn't keep us from passing them on to everybody. So, someday they won't. I know CBD can be shipped everywhere, and we need to get our friend Eric back on. If you're interested in CBD.
Ish, sort of, kind of. I don't think it's still for over the border. It's
okay, well, kind of ish.
Everywhere in between, yeah.
But if you're interested in CBD, we have a good hookup on real isolated CBD from a really good source. I can get you his number. Let us know. This is like, okay, so Drake, let's talk about milligrams, like I'm terrible with numbers. Okay. Bad with numbers. And so like, this is a half a kilo, right? So 2 of these is a whole kilo. And so a whole kilo is how many grams?
It's 1,000 grams of CBD isolate is a kilo. It'd be 999.9, or maybe you'll get a little extra depending
A little
on
louder.
the company. It's again, sorry, sit back and talk quieter. It's a habit of mine. So if you didn't hear first, it would be a kilo. So that's 1,000 grams. 1,000,000 milligrams is the way that comes out to. And double check the math because I am no whiz myself either. But yeah, so 500 grams would be 500,000 milligrams of CBD. It's very fairly priced. Like we're talking dollars for grams. So they should not be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus dollars for a gram.
So 1 gram of this, the first time I bought 1 gram of this was $99 I paid for 1 gram of CBD isolate, 1 gram. Okay, but that being said, that 1 gram of that CBD isolate is how many milligrams, Drake? 1 gram.
1,000 milligrams. And I don't usually flame or say anything, but BudBuddy.biz is selling 1,000 milligrams of CBD oil right now for $149 Canadian. Things like that need to stop.
So literally this 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. What people really need to be taking from what we're hearing are around 500 milligrams. You need a half a gram. So this should not cost $100. If people need to consume a half of this, this should cost you pennies or $1, not hundreds. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to show. I don't always believe in isolates. The reason I believe in isolates is because we haven't been allowed to have our CBD and other things in our body. You guys are already, most of you are consuming THC out there. So this is just going to accentuate that. It's going to really bump that up, the healing power of this stuff. I hear like one of my friends took 500 milligrams and another one took 1,000. One of them said he woke up in the morning. He said he was groggy in the morning, though. He said he was groggy. And I'm wondering if he didn't take it too late or just too much. I don't know. He took it and he said he woke up groggy, but once he got awake, he felt the best he had felt in years, and said his joints, the inflammation in his joints was like no other. So I'm just hearing about these things and I want to share them with you guys because a lot of people don't want to come on live. They don't really want to share this information. So I hear these amazing stories offline and I like to come in and share them with you guys because I think it's super important that we hear about these awesome stories. Drake, you got a good story today?
Well,
I know you got some good stories.
There's different examples where was it? The Cannabis Health Radio. That was one I've been following for years. And when I was doing a lot of labor back in the day, I used to just always listen to these different podcasts while I worked away. So in that one, there was a bunch of different really, really touching and inspirational stories. And I believe the one I'm recalling is a pretty young child with Dravet syndrome, which is a really rare and awful syndrome. Look up Dravet syndrome if you don't know what it is. And they found with different levels of CBD trials that they had different success rates. With this specific individual, which was again quite a young child, I believe they had to get close to like 1,000 milligrams. I think it was taken over 2 500 milligram doses morning and night to kind of run somewhat of a baseline, or maybe even broken down a little bit more. But overall, about 1,000 milligrams every 24 hours, and that's when they started to see good results. But we've also heard the opposite, where people see really good results with much smaller amounts, and then inversely, there's a few people that do seem to get affected from it quite substantially. There's so many variables, psychosomatics, everyone's body's different. Shadow cam, we're all different super chemicals. So there's so many different things that, or different ways that this can react. So anywhere, like, starting with everything, it's always good to start low and start low and titrate slow. So start low and go up slowly and find what your ideal rate is. With CBD, it's a little bit more lenient because generally you're not going to have much like oh my goodness, I want to say psychotropic, but you're not going to really feel effects again. So without getting into it, so you can start a little bit higher. But yeah, different results for different people from different dosages all over. So just pricing needs to be fair. That's the moral of the story. It's definitely well below $1,000 if you're in the right places. Canada, not quite the same. Still very cheap though, but well below $1,000 for a kilo when you're grabbing large amounts. So for a lot of these really big companies that are doing so, and it's not a big issue, and they're able to move things quickly, yes, you have to have solid markup to keep going. But I mean, if we're talking less than $1 to these companies, that's what it comes to when it's under $1,000 for a kilo, because you're getting 1,000 grams, less than $1 a gram, and you can be very fair and still make a large amount of profit. So CBD rambles, it needs to be cheaper. Like I said, there's that place in Canada here that's been going for a long time. And I think it's $149 I just said for a gram of CBD. So it's like in some places that's paying for like half your kilo. It's insane.
Yeah, that's
quite Canadian.
crazy. Yeah, everybody really needs to, like, if somebody really is interested in that and wants large quantities, you can go in together on things, and it's crazy, but like, it shouldn't cost you that much to get healthy. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't be expensive to be healthy and to stay healthy, because everybody needs to stay healthy and be learning. That's one thing about cannabis. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much cannabis is really making me want to be healthy, or just growing, learning about all these microbes and how well and how you feed your plant and the good water. I can't believe how many of you out there feed your plant better water than you feed yourselves. Come on, wake up. You can't take care of your ladies if you're not healthy, boys. Come on.
Hey, I've got one more other than frogs in my throat. Apparently, I've got another neat CBD. I wouldn't call it a fact necessarily, but Subcool, RIP, good homie, big breeder back then. He said that CBD, and I mean, this has been said widespread or quite widely, that in small amounts it'll help bring you down, and that's what people usually do it for, right? If you get a little too stoned, you can take some CBD and it helps. But there's been suggestion it's a potentiator once you use high amounts of it. And it was Sub on one of, he was always doing daily videos and rambling and awesome chats, and I believe those videos are still up, so go check them out. But remember him mentioning once that CBD, if you take a fat couple dabs of CBD right after a big dab of whatever concentrate you take, that it can definitely elevate you to the next level. So I don't know how much standing that has, but it was kind of cool. I just remembered that it was old Subby that said that, so why not throw it out there, a little CBD informational.
Okay, so I can speak for it bringing you down. I had a really bad edible experience, and I didn't realize that CBD brought you down. And at that time, I don't even know if I had any with me at that time. Now I probably did. I think I did have some with me because I had that first jar I bought. Well, anyways, I didn't know that. So I had a really bad experience. Like, I took a lot of THC, and it was isolate, which I believe that's the reason I had the bad experience, because it wasn't full extract. It wasn't full spectrum. This is what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, this is just something I personally believe. I don't have proof of it or anything, but I believe when you take that THC isolate, it does something weird, and it reacts not so fun. And it was the worst drunk high experience I have ever had in my life. And it took me a year before I would try edibles again. So please, if you guys, anyone out there is like gonna experience with edibles or give someone edibles, oh my gosh, please be careful. Don't let it be a bad experience. Cannabis should be a good experience for everyone. It really should be. It's a therapy healing herb, and it needs to be really treated like that. And I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to find the gifted, wonderful plant.
With edibles, you gotta be so careful. That's another one where the variables are endless. Everyone kind of perceives edibles differently. I have a really high metabolism is what I've chalked it up to. And I think there's actually a certain gene they found now where you can handle a lot more of like THC specifically. This I'm kind of just spitballing. I can't quite remember, but it sounds familiar. I think I'm remembering that there's a specific gene where you maybe don't quite get as stoned overall. But anyways, definitely your metabolism and your individual makeup constitute what happens there too. And it converts once it passes your liver from delta 9 or delta 8, either or. So if you're doing edibles, doesn't really matter, whatever you can get the best price for. If you're using isolates, that's all you have access to. But it converts to 11 hydroxy THC, and that's quite a bit more longer lasting and quite a bit more psychoactive, I believe, once it's processed. But it definitely lasts longer, and you can get uncomfortably stoned, and then you can't really stop for hours. And a lot of people do the same thing with mushrooms and stuff. You take some, you wait your hour, sometimes even after 2 hours, you're like, I'm not really feeling it. You double down, and then all of a sudden in 10 minutes, you're like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. There's no way it's from the second dose. And then, in another hour or two, you're just off to a comet. And a lot of people don't like that. And if it's one of your first experiences, that's going to be very bad. And even like Tara, someone who clearly is benefiting from it and loves cannabis, it's like she was tainted for a whole year because the experience can be quite overwhelming. And you can see how cannabis is like, technically a hallucinogen in some cases, because it's like you'll be seeing like the very initial kind of like waviness a little bit and being like, what's going on here? And yeah, it can be powerful, so be careful. And there's another I just think it's interesting, but there is another process that happens from 11 hydroxy into something else once it furthers through our system. So I'd love to figure out exactly what that is again so I can repeat it.
Yeah, that's crazy how it does all that different stuff in there. And then, and then that's why there's the suppositories, right? Because it does other things. So there's several different ways of consuming this amazing plant. And I really don't want anybody to get turned off by any of them because they had a bad experience. Because literally it could really help a lot of people right now. I really
get out there, try your local suppositories.
I still have never tried one. I'm still too chicken. I'd rather smoke it. I really like the high. I feel like this is what
don't smoke your suppositories. I don't
I'm
advise
not a person that likes to I don't like the body high, I need the head high. This is where it's working for me. At night it would be bad.
All jokes aside, it's generally more for situational cases, and it works amazing. I'm like 100%. There are a lot of patients that we speak with that have used these things firsthand and are just like loving it.
So a lot of people use them, and I someday I will try one. I just haven't made my own, so I'm waiting until I make my own, maybe someday, and I'll try it. But yeah, and no farther than the knuckle, right? Not
going to knock anyone for any form of ingestion. And that's again a funny point. But yeah, if you're have serious ailments and you're trying to get as much into your system as possible, that's kind of, you got to, if you're going up the other side, you got to get it inside of you, right there clearly. But if you don't want to go past a knuckle is kind of the joke deep, because then it'll process quite a bit more. I'll just leave it at that. Process quite a bit more, for lack of a better term. 710, where are you? Come help with our suppository talk. You'll feel it a lot more. You'll feel it a lot more, and that's not generally what you want. So you can get a large amount into your body without feeling it, and that's one of the routes to do so. Yeah. And it doesn't always, like, a lot. Some people are very sensitive. We've had reports, because lots of times, like with these suppositories, we're talking like 600 milligrams per suppository, or 325 at least, and 325 for sure. Scrap the 650, but I'll double check on that. But anyways, large amounts in the hundreds, and some people reporting quite vivid experiences. So just be careful with everything. Start low. Yeah. Slow. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Mark, hello. Welcome. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. CBC, welcome. How are you? We got Manic in the house. Hello. Bong Rip, Bingo says, yes, I agree. Let's do this, Bingo. One for Bingo.
Let's do this. Only I didn't clean my banger out. Damn it. Okay, so I have to tell y'all, I bought this one of these bubbles, and it's orange cake. Oh my God. It is like super, super like crazy orange, too much like orange in my face. Like I'm like, no, I don't really like, not really caring for the orange. It's a little too orangey. Like, and the reason I think it is because I think it's like that tangy orange. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I'm familiar with that. The tangy orange.
The tangy orange. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna dab one out. If 710's not gonna join us up here.
You're hilarious.
I think we're gonna dab one out. Oh, Drake, were you gonna go out in the garden? What did we want to do? Where are we at?
Let's see. Maybe
Did y'all want to see Drake's garden? What do y'all think? Let's hear it. 1, if you want to see Drake's garden. 2, if you don't really care.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it another time.
Yeah, we'll do it another time.
That can work for me.
I don't really care either.
And we went out last show. So if you didn't check it out, you have to go check out that one.
It's up to you if you want to see the grow. Totally up to you. And you know, you all that wanted to vote and you weren't here live, well, it's your fault. You weren't here live. Too bad. You didn't vote. You didn't get a vote. You have to be here live if you want to vote. Oh my God. Dab time.
I love the kind of feeling the Congo leaves on the back of your throat. It has like that, not, I want to say menthol-y because it's a similar experience, but just no menthol, but that kind of like.
Now menthol would turn me off.
No, but it's not menthol at all. It's just that like, you know, that like cooling sensation. It's just from the terp. It's just from like, you know, even like with like trop cookies, like say like the travel trop cookies or even like that super tangy. And it kind of like, after you've hit, I think even more like flour specifically, but with the concentrate as well, it kind of just like a couple minutes later, just leaves you with that almost cooling sensation from the terps. Cause it's like they've, you know, it's an interesting reaction overall. Again, butchering the overall experience, but yeah, it's neat. I can keep breathing out Congo.
Ooh, excuse me. Let me get a drink of water here.
All right, cheers. Going in. What was this? Ghost Train Haze. Rolling deep. We'll get a little more in depth too about some of the things and mitigations we can do to prepare for the next season. But say number one is just get a nice, healthy cover crop of plants that aren't going to die in the winter to grow. Make those your main input to go back in so you can grow in your walkways, your pathways, and all your beds as soon as your main crops are either done or close to being done. Example, like pretty close to now with our cannabis. Say things like winter wheat, hairy vetch, winter rye.
I bet you could even do potatoes over winter. If you didn't want to harvest them, you know, if you were just going to feed them back in. I wonder what that would do.
Options.
Yeah.
Sudan grass.
You could also go out to your local store that has a whole bunch of leftover seeds, vegetable seeds. A lot of people put them on sale right now. And a lot of those seeds. So here's a little secret. When you're buying seeds, and if you want to store seeds for the next year, the smaller the seed, the less long they'll store. So the bigger the seed, the longer they'll store. And the reason is because that seed has more energy because it's bigger. So it can survive longer. So if you want to go buy
that was a seed crit.
Yeah, if you want to go buy any seeds, vegetable seeds right now and keep them till next year, you know, you're going to use them because they say you got to get them new every year. Well, of course you do because they want you to buy new shit every year because that's how they get all your money. So we're trying to teach you how to save money. So go buy all the big vegetable seeds and you can save them. I even started, I think it was some of my spaghetti squash was 7 years old seed, and I hadn't even kept it nice. I'd left it out in the shop in a shoebox. So spaghetti squash, cucumber, sunflower, all of those will store for a while. Drake, did you have something to say?
No, I was just being a dork. That was your seed crit. Not a secret.
Well, I guess we got votes for one. I guess you're out to the garden. Out to the garden you go.
I guess I'll join in from my phone then.
Okay, then I can spotlight you. That'll be cool.
All right, well, give me a second.
Okay, well, Drake's going out there, y'all. Awesome. 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 Elka planted his fall garden this morning. What did you plant, Elka? Did you want to jump on and tell us? Hold on, let me see where we got. There we go.
Okay, I'll go out there and I'll be right back.
Okay. Drake is headed out to the garden, y'all. So I was thinking about fall garden right now as well, going out and planting some peas, like sugar snap peas, also some lettuces or spinach. There was all those type of things that I was kind of thinking about going out and starting. I also have some mushroom logs I need to finish up. I'm making some mushroom logs, which I'm super excited about. That's going to be over kind of near one of my other gardens, which I've already started, which I already have the wine caps growing in there, which are really cool. It's been really awesome, cool seeing those up. I haven't really eaten them. I've been just kind of letting them go back into the soil. I don't know if that produces more mushrooms or not. That's kind of my theory. I'm hoping it's going to produce more mushrooms. I don't know. I should find out. I don't really know much about mushrooms. That's definitely something in the future I want to know more about. And yes, someone earlier said I would love to hook up to a geologist. That would be awesome. I think it was Claude. Was it Claude? I read that earlier. Yes, a geologist. That would be so cool. I'd definitely love to talk to a geologist. Oh, and if you're tuning in today, make sure you have it up on live chat and not top chat, by the way. Oh, just a minute here. Drake's coming in. Spotlight.
Here we go.
Oh, where are you? There you are.
We got the garden greeters.
The garden greeters.
I'm wondering where the third one is.
Uh-oh. Sitting on eggs.
We'll have to see. I don't think so. Sneaking around somewhere. Here's my datura. Super pretty.
Oh, it's blooming already. Look at that. I hear the blooms smell amazing.
They do.
Oh,
The
I
stalks smell
want
like peanut
some.
butter, but so here we got a nukin.
Oh, wow. Look at those. Okay, you guys, how tall are those, Drake? Because those sticks are how tall? Those are like 9 feet tall?
9 or 10 feet tall.
Look at that. So you've got some 12-footers out there.
No, I'd say 11 is probably the highest.
Oh, holy shit.
This
That's
is a random
awesome.
seed. This plant just showed up this year. This is my one garden volunteer. It grew through all the foundational applications that plants shouldn't grow through. And let's see, I'll get in. I'll just go, let's see, what's the best route here? Maybe I can let the little ducks out. My makeshift fence. Oh, dropping things. Got my cucumber popping over from the other side.
What kind of cucumber?
I don't know. Kind of round.
Lemon? Is it a lemon cucumber?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Zero idea.
Lemon, well, lemon looks like a round little lemon, right? And it grows yellow. So it's not, probably not your lemon. Those
No,
are my
your standard-
favorite.
Your average, the ones that you'd like pickle or something like that, I think. Maybe
Okay.
not.
They're
I have no
like
idea.
lemons are some of my favorite. And then there's that other kind that grows long and like more like a melon. It's kind of cool. Okay, go ahead.
This plant hither is a jungle pound cake. And that one's kind of sharing with this plant. It's doing pretty well. And beside it, we've got a inzane in the membrane. This is probably one of the taller plants in the garden. I haven't quite kept the shoots level because I've tried to have a pretty even canopy, but I let this one take off. So that's probably like a foot taller than everything else. Let's see if we can go into the lowdown view and I'll hobble in here. So just basic concrete wire for the main support. And then like with the Congo that just went super bushy, and here's a Roberts Creek Congo. And I'm still going through and I got to remove these yellow, and there's like even some dead leaves back there. That's a big no-no. You don't want any of that. Any yellowing leaves, any of that stuff, you got to remove it. Air in the dirty laundry. And with this one, the Congo got way bushier than I thought. I thought it was going to shoot up because, you know, land racy and so on and so forth, but it's super, super bushy. So I ended up just adding in a little support. So when these ones start stacking up, we're not going to have the issues of branches snapping.
So mine did the same thing. Mine got really bushy too. Both of them.
So let's see if I can now. Oh, this one back here is a My Little Pony. Talk about Johnny B. My Little Pony back there, and see if I can find a hole to stand up in. Okay, here's some Congo. It's one of the kind of further ones along in the garden, which is also neat, but it's very sensitive to the light. Here we can see it's not trellised super well because it was so wide instead of going up. Careful when you do things like this and have a lot of the wire showing, because the little birds love to come hang out and shit all over your plants. Luckily, it's just too kind of not ideal for them in here. And with the things we've been doing, there's no bugs for them to screw around with. But here's the My Little Pony. Excited to see how that one comes along. And let's see if I can flip this around. There we have her. In my little jungle. Which hand do I need to move? That hand. All right. So beside me here, we've got a black garlic. There's another one behind it. These are all got this wire right here. I caught myself with that. Be careful where you put these. I was maneuvering around this, and I poked myself with that. And that's no fun. I had a good scar on the side of my face there. A little scratch. I shouldn't say scar. So now I try not to walk on my walkways too much. So I'll pop back around. And
you need a noodle.
That was the wrong word. I definitely try to only walk on my walkways. I try not to walk on my beds at all. So I generally had the birch kind of visually blocking everything off. But I do a lot of going through here, and it just got to be a pain in the butt. Like generally it was kind of like this. So then I'd only walk either on the birch a little bit or just in the walkway. There's that log was fully inoculated. I went to grab a tree out of the snow this spring, and that just snapped off in my hands. I couldn't believe it. You could karate chop it in half. So that's my little toadstool. But yeah, I try not to walk on the beds at all. This one has seen some foot traffic because I walk all my feed out when I do my liquid fertilizer and JMS by 5-gallon bucket, 20 liters at a time. And that's another thing to touch on. For these plants, per like 3 foot by 3 foot area, that was horrible. It's hard for me to see where my fingers are going on the camera. But for a plant that's, doing pretty good, like this plant's 11 feet tall, very wide, and like, I don't know, doesn't look extremely hungry. Looks like she's rather good for right now, pretty green. I'm not upset about it. So for 3 by 3 area, this whole season, all they get is 20 liters of water, 5 gallons for 3x3 once a week. And that's enough with the microbes we've been adding and this process for it to be happy. And we got up to 50 degrees for about a week. And at the end of that period, I had some plants that I'll get to that are this way. No, this way. That corner over there that are closest to the edge fence line. That
Okay,
started to ask for water.
Jake, we're like, you gotta slow down. We're like really getting spotty. And wherever you're saying this way or that way, we don't know where you're going.
That was the direction I was pointing.
Okay.
And then there was a third duck as well. So
Yeah, I saw her in there.
I'll go into my little bit of an opening. Got our tree that was all which is broomed up, and it's taken off, throwing lots of nice new shoots. So that's just a fungal pathogen, I believe. So I've been spraying it and drenching with JMS, and it's pretty happy. Pop over here. Everything above the trellis, this direction, is a strawberry starburst that just exploded. I took it outside to let it go from the garden, but it's just taken off. So we'll see how it goes. One of the taller plants in the garden as well. Here, let's see, we've got a slight bit from 2 weeks ago's application, I believe, of sulfur. I got out there and it stayed humid for longer than I thought. We want half an hour to an hour of set time, and I got a little bit longer, so I pissed off a few of the leaves. But this plant specifically is a less happy plant overall. Small, in not a great area, and where I have that bit of tape, which is a bit of a no-no, and the pool noodle, which was interesting, aside from I need to lift it up a little bit more because you don't want it touching the ground. There was a rat that had got to it earlier in the year, but it's still taken off nicely. I'm just being apprehensive of it because they carry a lot of diseases with their dirty little mouths. That's a black garlic that we were looking at there. Here we've got some plants that are also black garlic. A little bit further along. And there's some plants in the back area here along that fence, which were the only ones because the area there is like the least nutritious or the least worked area in the yard. So those ones, when it was really hot, asked a little bit. And again, that's just the very back area there along the fence. Then we switch over into the middle of this kind of bigger bed. It's raised. It's made with birch and some deciduous trees, a little bit of cedar in the bottom. We've got a couple form cut cookies. There's one here and one behind it. It's one that's bending over, in which I'm maybe going to have to figure out another layer of supports. Is a inzane in the membrane. There's two of those on that side. When I switch back to the other side where they're more stout and not as tall, we've also got some inzane in the membrane. There.
Looking beautiful, Drake.
Added some more straw. And again, the pool noodles were to mitigate rats from when they were a bit smaller. And again, they're still around, but we're fighting them, so it's working pretty good. So right behind me, these are the form cut cookies I was showing. And then directly behind them, there's 1, 2, 3 or 5 more plants. There's a couple GDP, 3 of them, I believe. And then there's there's a couple more plants, I thought. There's a comatose, a bubblegum breath, 2 form cut cookies, 2 other ones, I believe, or maybe just 1. And then I've got 2 orange gasm in the back with 1 more one more nukin along where my ferments are, but those are there's some of the less progressive plants in the garden, but they're still doing decent.
So keep in mind, Drake's like 6 foot tall. That was well over his head, y'all. And Cameron's in chat. Hey, Cameron. And he says the insane smells like Sprite syrup. Excited to see it finish. Nice, Cameron. Cameron, you can jump in. I don't know where you're at. Look at him. Look how tall. Oh my God. That's crazy. You're killing it, Drake. Good job, man. Killing it.
Thank you. Ferments work.
And D says he likes your pool noodle idea. So he's liking that. Pool noodle, definitely.
They're hydrophobic as long as they're not sitting on the ground. I haven't seen any issues. They're not holding any moisture. They're not providing a zone for molds and stuff. Too much, keep in mind, it will be some form of a microclimate. But for like a quick fix and keeping them off the ground, why not? Well, I'm sure there's a couple of reasons, but it works for in a pinch.
So what's the pedigree of the insane in the membrane? Do we know?
Nunya crossed with business, legitimately.
Are you seriously? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Fucking ethos.
None your business. Okay. All right. Perfect. There you go. Apparently they don't want you to know what the cross is. So it's none your business. Okay. Wow. Well, hey, there you go. There's a breeder for you. Are you coming back inside? We're going to dab one out and say goodbye to these amazing folks. We had an amazing live this morning. We might have a guest coming on Saturday. I hate to say that till I know. I wait till I see the whites of their eyes before I name my live who or what we've got going on, because I never know. And if you guys notice, sometimes my live titles change because we don't ever know what to expect when we go live, right? That's why we like to go on live. Wait till you get some really good bloopers. Oh my. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, D. Hello. Yeah, none your business. Can you believe that? Isn't that funny? That's crazy. Just freaking crazy. Hey, if y'all don't mind, please share, subscribe, like, whatever, all those things. Hit that thumbs up. It helps us get the information out. And we need your help. We need your help to heal the world, to heal the planet. Where's Drake at? Looks like he's back somewhere else. We are looking at something else. Let me spot share this. You're muted if you're talking.
I've got marigolds that are climbing up my fence that I like for just what are they? They did.
Okay, so you called those morning glories. Those are
Morning
not
glory.
a morning. That's okay. So those are not any morning glory I have ever seen. I don't know. Are you sure that that is a morning glory?
Let's see if I can find some that are. Wow, is this the same plant? That's the one that's coming. Yeah, there's one. So we've got the pink here. So these vine, let's just go with aggressive vine plant that's very, very beautiful and awesome to use for all the ferments and everything. And it's great for insects and pollinators, but PM loves it. So all of these marks here are dead powdery mildew. I've been doing trials on this with the different levels of our Judam sulfur and application rates and making sure everything works well. And this is results of our last week's application. It takes a while. If you're spraying something instantly, it's not just gonna, go necrotic and show you that. But yeah, so it works really, really well. And here we've got one of those critters I was speaking about. I just don't know which one. Well, yeah, just one more thing to show. And then we go and we spray all of our companion plants and anything that's growing amongst it and make sure that it's not going to be spreading pathogens and disease to our main plant. Same thing. I usually remove the ones that are climbing up the edges, but I definitely spray them each week or whenever we choose to. So there's one more little tip now going in depth. We've got a muted Tara. I was wondering why it was so quiet.
Sorry
It's
about
too
that.
quiet.
Sorry about that. I was texting. I got called away for a minute. Hello. Hey, Octo Tom. I saw you come in earlier. How you doing? And Gingerbug in the house. Let's say hello to chat. What else? We got Elka in the house. Hey, Elka. It was awesome hanging with you and finally getting to put a name to that, or face to that name, like Gingerbug was saying earlier. Drake's back out showing us. What are we seeing now? Let's go back to Spotlight. There we go. Oh, the ducks are coming out. Waddle, waddle.
Come on, come get some yummies.
Love it. There's Dabs. Dabs the duck. Speaking of dabs, is it dab time? I'll take a dab for Dabs the duck. Drake, you're muted. FYI.
Just
We can
ducking
hear-
around.
Well, I know. Let's hear Dab go hiss.
Is that coming through?
It's super quiet.
Here, let's see.
Yeah, much better. We got it. Okay, that hissing sound, this kind of sounds like a snake almost.
And it's the only noise the male ducks make.
That's the duck, you guys. That's funny.
That's the
So
duck.
funny. Yeah.
So that's why we can
totally-
have Bale Muscovies in city limits.
So cool, Drake. Thanks for taking that awesome tour with us today. That's way cool. I hope y'all enjoyed that awesome tour today. That was awesome. I got to get out and harvest potatoes today because my pond has finally went back. It's finally dried out. So I'm going to go out and harvest potatoes and some tomatoes to see what I got out there. And I'll take some pictures and I'll post them on Instagram, show you what I got. Hopefully they're not rotten. Because as you all saw, if you went and watched my video, I kind of had a little flood. And I actually pumped it out this last time. And that pump actually worked really good. It was dry within a few days. So because the sun came out, we got some beautiful weather. So yeah, I got lucky. So yes, got lucky out there. Dabs up, D says. The black duck. I know, isn't that funny? It's so crazy. Headbanger, ducky duck. I love it. That's hilarious. Oh, good one. Love it. Okay, let's take a dab. I'll wait for Drake. Drake's coming back in. Let me hit this up. Oh, I need to fill up my lighter. Don't you hate it when you go to dab and you need to fill up that torch? I have a little bit in here. Let's hit what's I got left in here, and then I'll take a fresh one when Drake gets back in here. Cheers, y'all. Always hate when there's that all those big terps left at the bottom there, and you got to hit one more. That's why I like this round bottom banger. Love that banger. So what are y'all hitting out there? Who's puffing with me? Who's ready to puff some?
I am.
Bingo, you're dabbing. Are you dabbing, Bingo? You're hitting the bong. Hiss from the bong. Hiss. I love it. That was a good one, D. Hiss from the bong. That's awesome. Okay. Well, let's dab one out with all these awesome folks out there. Thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
As always, we certainly do. Dabbing with you is the best part of our day.
Yes, it is. It's a great way to wake and bake.
Wicked to baker.
Even though half of you are out there already woke because you're on the West Coast or East Coast.
Well, there's
So Drake and I are actually thinking about renaming our show. If anybody has some cool ideas out there, we'd be interested. And if anybody would also like to join our panel on a regular, or if they'd like to join as a guest, they have some information they'd like to share with the community, reach out. We'd love
Come
to
on
chat.
down.
I am going to go in on whatever this one is. Hopefully it's not the orange cake because I don't want no more orange right now.
Too much zest.
Can't even read what it is. Oh, cream, cookies and cream. This is a really nice tasting one. This tastes really good. This is like some really nice flavored terps there in that one. Really like that. Excuse me. I'm going to have to rewarm because I took too long. So let me get my dab ready. And then I'm going to hit. One thing with this round bottom banger, the only thing I don't like about this round bottom banger is it's thin. I would like a thicker round bottom banger. A thick one. Oh, Elka tried to join but couldn't. I'm having issues a little bit this morning. Drake doesn't have good service. So I had to turn off the join for a sec and like we didn't want to get interrupted while he was out there. So let me give you a minute here. Let me redo this. Let me try again, Elka, if you want to join for a minute. Let's go back. Oh, it's 4:20 somewhere, y'all. Let me go back. Let's see. I am having issues on this stream this morning. People, chat.
And then just it's going to be hard to show up. We'll see if it comes in. But for reference, this is just a type of morning glory. And you can see the same similar larger leaves that aren't is heart-shaped, I believe, is the ones that you have.
Try again. I'm sorry, Drake. I was in the middle of something. Can you show that again?
Yes, I sure can. Let's see if that'll bring it up. So it's got interesting.
Yours look like that?
So mine is pretty a flower. Mine are the more pinky flower. But yes, same leaves and same style.
I want you to take a picture because there's another flower out there that is maybe a moon plant. Is it a moon? Something. There's other ones that are called something else that climb like that. And then there's another one that was really pretty that I almost grew. I can't remember what it was called. But you got to be careful of some of those climbers. They can be pretty invasive.
Dude, that's what Tom said too. And they leach nutrients from where they're at. And they're extremely invasive in a sense, but that's what makes them like amazing for our fertilizer, for our nutrients, right? There's nothing better than the most vigorous growing plants because but
you've that being said, you've got to keep up on that. You know, that's a constant thing. And that's the thing about Jadam farming is it's a little bit every day. It's just a continuous thing. You know, and just like you guys do in your grow, it's a continuous thing. It's something you got to do a little bit each day. You get out what you put into it. And that's what I like about growing. You put good effort into it, you get a lot out of it. All right. Cheers, y'all. Elka, did you try? Try again, Elka.
The datura is called the moonflower. I knew that sounded familiar.
Oh, the moonflower. That's what it was. I was like, something's called moon something or other.
Yeah.
Okay. I really wish I knew more about like our natural forests and the mushrooms and the plants that we like are around in abundance. And that's what I really like about this Jadam farming, natural farming, is I'm learning about that. And I'm learning how I can use it in my own environment. It's just, it's so inspiring, but so, what's the word I'm looking for? Empowering. It's empowering to me to be able to do it on my own, I guess. That's what I want to say.
Got that right. It's been a really fun journey. And I think the moral of the story is D is right. It is Comcast's fault overall. It's always Comcast.
Cheers, y'all.
Dabs up. But not you, Comcast. Dabs down for you. Dabs up for D. What's the report today, D? You have a report for us? I always like to hear the report from D.
The brains report. Dabbing with D.
Let's see how bad this talking and very specific heating up technique go together. See if I don't overdo her or underdo it or both.
Elka says, don't want another mooner. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, I have to lock the meeting sometimes. You all don't understand who all starts to join sometimes on these. You got to be careful when you post those live links out there, because you never know who's watching. Never know. Woo! Hot box in the room over there, Drake.
Yeah, she a little vapey in here.
Elka, we'll give you a couple more minutes if you want to jump on. We'd love an episode of your garden update, what you got going on in your garden. I saw that you said you were planting your fall crop, so I opened it back up. See if you can try and get on again if you want to try.
Maybe we can have you back Saturday if you're interested. Come do a little
And if we can't get you back on today, yeah. Yeah, it was on the Breeder Steve episode. It was, you're right. Can you believe that? Of all episodes, probably one of my biggest episodes of all, the Mooner. Full moon. I should just name it the Full Moon with Breeder Steve.
I like that.
I love you, Breeder Steve. Speaking of which, we're working with Breeder Steve. Oh, by the way, I can kind of announce that. We're working with Breeder Steve on getting better prices for you all on freeze dryers out there. We actually can get a freeze dryer that's as big as our house. We have access to that. And we're going to have access to the small freeze dryers for the counters. So we're working on getting better prices for you all on that right now. And it's not through Harvest Right. Hi, Elka. Welcome. How are you?
Hello. Good afternoon or good morning where you are, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the chat that I've been working this morning. I've been out there planting my fall garden. So I thought that I would share with you some of what I planted.
Yeah,
beautiful. Well, let me spotlight you and then you can see what you look like and you can go right on over there and start to share. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in, Elka.
Oh, no problem. Let me flip my thing. Hold on. I'm so sorry about this.
No, you're fine. No, it's okay. You're totally good.
Just see me hobbling around. You're fine, dude.
Okay, so you have to have your camera on to flip it backwards. You can't flip it around unless your camera's on.
Oh, interesting.
At least I couldn't on my phone. But we don't see you, Elka.
Just the joy of technicals.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right.
Now we can't hear you. Unmute.
Yeah.
There we go. It's okay.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm getting my notifications too slow. Like you're putting me in before it's like prompting me to open all of that up. That makes sense? Anyway, I think that I can't see you right now, but let me.
Okay, so just.
Okay, I slid over and there you are. All right.
Okay.
So teach me how to flip my screen again.
So when I'm gonna spotlight you, so you're not gonna be able to see me, and you're gonna touch the screen, and in the top left-hand corner there should be a little camera flip. Do you see it?
Yep. Oh, I hit it.
It's a pain to get at.
Try it again.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, sometimes you. There you
There
go. Woo!
Okay. There's my empty seed packs. Hold on, let me figure this camera out. So, planted these radishes. Hold on. Why is it upside down?
Okay, so on your end, it might look like it's backwards and misread red. On my end, it looks right.
Yeah, we're good.
I forget that about phones.
All right. Let me just hold it like this. So, all right. That works for me. So I plant these radishes for us to eat in our salads and everything. And they're little bitty daikons. They have a really nice flavor to them. And this is a good fall crop.
So question about those. I'm not someone that likes the hot spicy. So would those be a little bit less spicy because they're the whiter maybe?
Yeah, they still have some spice to them, but why can't I get? There we go. So sorry. Okay, yes, they have a little bit less spice to them, but they are still spicy. They have that radish, little bit of radish heat to them.
Okay. Okay.
I've
Good.
never had like a completely mild radish like that, and I like the spice, so I probably wouldn't like a mild one. So this may not be for you, but as they're I like them because they don't get all large and woody like a lot of daikons do. These stay fairly small. So and they produce quickly like the little round red ones that people are used to. So
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I like that. Awesome. And those would also go a little bit deeper and also probably help break up the soil even better than the smaller ones too.
yes, I'll show you those. I have those too. I planted 3 types of radishes this morning. The other 2 are for my chickens, and these, like I said, these are what we eat. This is something that I'm trying for the first time this year. A little 50-cent pack of black Spanish radishes. They looked interesting to me, and they're supposed to hold up in cold weather because I feed. It's tough to get some really healthy greens for your chickens in the wintertime, and I found that radish tops have really worked well. I've grown a lot of groundhog radishes in the past for them, and basically they just get in the wintertime they get nettles. Like we have a lot of purple nettle that grows around here, low growing and lasts through the winter time. So they get that, and they get radish tops as their greens that they get in the winter.
That's a great idea. Thanks for sharing that. I love that. I need to do that.
Yeah, that's why I hopped on here, is to share stuff like this. I love your show, Tara. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Yay, we love you too.
All right, so this other one, this is sort of like the groundhog radish, the tillage radish that people plant, but this one is more edible. It only gets like 14 inches. It's not like a 2-footer. I've grown those daikons before, and then once they get the soil busted up, like you were talking about, they really do like get large. Like about I had one that was almost 5 or 6 inches around, and like I couldn't find the end of it. Like I just stopped digging.
That's
It was so
crazy.
deep.
Wow.
So yeah, it was down a couple feet. But yeah, they do a really good job. This one doesn't get that large, and it's like I said, it stays edible as long as you keep the tops covered. On these daikon radishes, they like to get green and really hard up on the top, which doesn't really matter if you're feeding them to your chickens and stuff. But it's like even the little ones, like this little, like the icicle radish, it'll do that too. It'll get green and tough on the top. That's just a survival mechanism for them. So yeah, the chickens love those radish greens. I think, and they stay healthy. I have.
So
Bird.
now we have a question in chat. Now, when he says cover the tops, he means the tops below, like on top of the vegetable, not like the green tops. But the question in chat is, how do you preserve the radish tops so they don't rot?
Oh, they stay green, like these longer ones, and this one supposedly.
So they're kind of more like your cabbage tops, right? That stay kind of green all winter.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That's what that you can just pick out. I pluck it in the snow when it's frozen on top, and I just take the rake out there and just rake it up and throw it in a tub and take it over there to them, and it does. The plant comes back like
That's
you can
awesome.
Pick them
That's
up in the wintertime.
So cool.
I'm hoping that this one does the same thing because it's a rounder one. I don't know how deep it's going to get to where it holds itself together, but I guess that black skin is how it does it. I hope they pop because these little 50-cent packs, sometimes you get something good in them, sometimes you don't. Like I got some red sunflowers over there that weren't so red. You know how it goes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
We'll see what's going on there. 50-cent pack, you can't expect much, but I paid quite a bit for these because these are ordered from Burpee. That's why it looks different than they say that Burpee pack. You see, that's what you buy in a store, and that's when you buy from Burpee.
And that's where you buy bulk.
Yeah. There was a lot of seeds in here. I planted a bunch of these this year because I know that these are going to feed my chickens. I don't know so much about that black radish, so I don't even count on the germination from those. So yeah, that's what I feed my chickens, or planted for my chickens. And I only plant in the fall red lettuces. So I got some red salad bowl here.
Okay,
and,
so is it because the red ones last longer then?
Yes, they last a little longer into the winter. Like these will go up until December usually, these redder ones. I haven't done this one before, but this other one I know really well, these Sylvia. I first tried it just because of Sylvia is the name of one of my dream cars. So I just decided to try it because there's all kinds of red lettuces out
No
there.
way. Which one? S15?
Yes, the old Nissan Silvias. Yeah, they didn't import those to the US, but I know about them. I know how badass they are. That little turbo four cylinder, the rear wheel drive. Yes, the Sylvia.
I got
You know
a
about those cars?
I got a 240 SX. It's not a Sylvia, but I just got the S15 front end for it.
Okay, gotcha.
Hilarious.
That's
Sweet, man.
awesome. All right, yeah, that's that. Yeah, we I guess Canada got the same cars that we did. You all didn't get the Sylvia either. I was kind of hoping that you all had it.
Oh no, we got Sylvias.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
we got them. I don't have that specifically, but we got them.
All right, awesome. Did you all get that little Pulsar that they made back then too? The little all-wheel drive, like little bitty rally car. It was like the size of a rabbit. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, most of the things are we're able to have here. So I've also got like a 94 GT4 ST205 little right hand drive one, and like we've got lots of the whatever tuners around. So I believe they're able to be imported. I just don't know how many are around.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, same here. We got a few right-hand drive Subarus that run around here. I've never seen a Skyline in real life, but I've seen a lot of the right-hand drive Subarus. Anyway. Okay, I'd like to talk cars with you sometime. Let's
anytime, man.
Okay, so I was gonna say you guys can talk cars as soon as we get off here, absolutely. Because by the way, over there in that Discord, like we haven't talked about Discord enough, really quick to show another shout out to Lemon Hoko and then our Discord as well. And Lemon Hoko's Discord, they talk about cars all the time, and it's cool. So whatever, it's cool. You guys talk about your shit. You talk about.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'd like to get an invite to that, but I don't know how Lemon Hoko feels about me. I've talked to him a few times in the chat, but I know that.
Oh no, I'm sure you're fine. Anybody that's a grower that hasn't pissed him off, you're fine.
Well, you never know what you can say that pisses somebody off if you don't know them. So anyway, he seems like a cool cat. He's one of those old school guys. He knows what the hell he's looking at when he looks at a plant.
He does.
He's seen a few.
You know what? And there's some amazing breeders over there, and you've got access to those breeders. You can do tests. They got you can do test packs for people over there. Yeah, it's a really cool. It's a cool group over there. It's been nice to hang out with.
We were saying before.
So anyways, sorry, interrupted your thing about your lettuce and everything. Let's get back to that.
All right.
A spotlight. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so what like I was saying is I grow these red ones so that they last longer into the winter. So two different types of that. I like to try something new every once in a while. So I decided to go with these because it has that little red tinge to it. Also got the spinach. This is very common stuff. I have a bunch of seeds that I made of this too, but I had this old pack, so I just decided to throw that out in there. And as I said, this stuff does really well in the heat too. Like, cause I'm not gonna have to worry about that obviously this go around. But yeah, it's a long standing. They've done a pretty decent job with this. It's been around for a while. The problem with this one is you see that curliness to it. It likes to trap stuff in it. Like if it gets bird shit on it, or if some of like the soil gets splashed on it when it's young and stuff like that, it likes to get in all those little grooves. So if there's a downside to that, this particular type of spinach, that would be it. But I like everything else about it, and I really don't grow anything else because this stuff works. I've had it, like I said, I've got a bunch of seeds that I've made of this stuff too, but I can get rid of this old pack while it was still viable. So yeah, I heard you mention when you were talking about fall crops earlier, you were mentioning a lot of these things that I'm
so the peas is the other thing. I see your peas there too. Yeah,
these peas, these are really good, and a lot of breeding went into this pea. It's like once I tasted it,
you know what, I've had those before. They're good. Yes,
and isn't it amazing how uniform the plants are for a pea? Like peas are usually kind of all over the place from my experience. I've grown a lot of snap peas and stuff like that. But I was really impressed with the breeding on this particular pea because all the plants look exactly the same. It was really amazing. This is one of the things that I noticed about it. And yes, they are absolutely delicious.
So
Perfect in the
honestly,
fall.
I don't think I've grown enough peas to really realize that they don't look the same, because those I have had access to, and those are the kind of the ones I've just normally planted. So I guess I really didn't know that.
Yeah, see, that's what I was just talking about
See?
with that
Yeah.
spinach. But
Okay.
once you find something that works for you and you like, you just kind of stick with it.
Yeah.
With something like that, why are you gonna jump around too much? You know what I mean? I'm
So
like that with carrots too. I didn't plant any carrots this
so
time
that's
because
what
I can
okay,
plant those
so
later.
carrots. I love that you brought up carrots. So carrots, can you plant those going into the fall right now?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, I
And
want to plant some. Cool.
they're very cold hardy. And actually, carrots do a lot better in planting them in the fall than you do planting them in the spring. 'Cause
Oh,
I
so good
tried
to
some
know. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really strong, cool weather crop. It doesn't really like all that heat. So it's like a lot of times you have to get your carrots out of the ground when it starts getting hot, or they'll start rotting on you. And they also like attract little. You all were talking about cutworms before. I think it was either you or the bug show that I did. But it attracts worms that come in there and just basically chew on the tops, chew the in between where the leaves and the carrot meet, and just like kind of ruins it, creates rot in there, and it's a lot of problems. So I prefer to plant my carrots in the fall, but I planted some this spring just trying to be hopeful, and it just didn't work out. So I'm planting some more because I want to make some more seed carrots. So
Okay, good to
I
know. I will do
yeah, I
that.
only grow tender sweet carrots. There's a bunch of different types out there. There's purple ones and yellow ones, but these tender sweet carrots are so delicious. There's really no reason for me to grow anything else. Yeah, here's a cat.
Ah,
That's
hi, kitty,
Dipshit.
kitty, kitty. My dog's like, where? I want to get it.
So she's saying hello. That's Dipshit the cat. And so yeah, it's cool that you've had these peas before. Well, I'm sure that's kind of a common thing. Those probably grow really well where you are, Tara.
Exactly, right here in Washington. Yeah, just south, yeah, just sort of south of us, those organs were bred. So, right.
Yeah. And here's something that us kind of southern people love. It's the mustard greens. You can grow this in the spring and the fall too, but it add I like the flavor of it. It's like a kale that doesn't attract as many like cabbage moths or butterflies. I guess those aren't moths. So little cabbage butterflies, little white and with black spots on them, and they turn into green worms that eat up all of your brassicas. Like it's people that grow broccoli and kale and cabbage, like you mentioned earlier, is all of that stuff. It comes with specific pests, and one of them is that little butterfly that lays the little green worms everywhere. So yeah, it's kind of a problem. But with these mustard greens and some types of collard greens, they're not as big of an issue. So yeah, that's everything that I planted this morning. I'm
Cool. So
squatting again. I've
do you
been doing
have any, do you do any like cold frames during as going into the fall? Do you have any of that?
I have in the past, but I don't really do that anymore. Uh, I had problems with there we go. I had problems with snow and wind and stuff like that with that kind of thing in the past. So I just again simple, keep it simple, and I usually have enough deep into the winter where I don't have to buy too many greens from the grocery. So, but you never know.
I was actually
So,
thinking about growing some lettuce indoors this year.
yeah, that may do well under your cannabis plants. It's because low light. You never know. This is until you try it. But
Yeah,
that low
but
light
not till
under
you
there,
try.
under the canopy, that might be enough for some lettuces. They don't need much. You go by with stuff like that, you just kind of look at what seasons they like to live in, and that's kind of the environment that you need to provide for them, because the plant's the boss, as you know.
Octo Tom, he says he grew collards that would clean your nose out. Apparently, they were horseradish. Like,
Oh, Let me see if I
Wow.
can go out here. I have some horseradish. It's just about to come back up, as a matter
Oh,
of fact.
I need to grow some of that. I don't grow any of that. Oh, I need to do that. That's
I
another
love
thing.
it.
I
I
don't care
absolutely.
for it, but my husband likes it, so I should probably grow that someday.
All right, I'm gonna see if I
Okay,
can
I'll
flip around
spotlight
again.
you. There you go.
Yes, here's my horseradish that has just come back from after a mow. It came back pretty vigorously. I got some bugs on it. They don't look too. They're not doing any damage, but you see those guys? Oh, anyway, I don't know if you
Now
can see
those
those.
can't those get really big? They can get really, really tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I just had to mow them back because I'm about to dig them up here. I'm gonna get closer
Okay. I
to
was
the
gonna say
Wi-Fi.
normally those are like what, about 2 feet tall, a foot tall?
Yes, yeah, and mine were monsters. They were probably like 3 feet tall this time, but they were starting to. There we go. So they were starting to have issues with burning in the sun and stuff like that. So I decided to mow them back.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, I love. I put it on sandwiches. I make cocktail sauce with it, like most people do. And yeah, horseradish is kind of a delicacy. You hear those ducks?
Yeah.
See if I can get these guys. They're guarding their pond from me. There they are. Mine aren't as friendly as Drake's. Like they stay away from me usually, and they're not as fancy either. That's just two mallards and a buff.
They're awesome.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love ducks.
they're not walking up to me like his.
Well, my geese don't walk up to me either. They kind of run from me too. I was just telling my husband, I wish I would have gotten ducks. And my husband says, I wish you would have gotten ducks too. He hates my geese. My
Yeah.
geese. In fact, one of them started chasing him the other day, and he kind of gave it a little boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those geese can get mean. It's really not really mean, but I guess just territorial. They don't realize that you own the yard, not them. So yeah, I like those ducks. They like to poop on the porch a lot. That kind of pisses the wife off, but it's not that big of a deal. I actually I've started to collect it since they're giving it to me in a form that I can collect on the porch. I just started like scooping it up and throwing it into the compost.
Okay, so this is my theory. Ducks are the perfect critter to collect like their urine or their poo and already have water in it. You just put the little wading pool wherever you want them to fertilize next, and then you just dump it out. It fertilizes that area. You go to the next area, they fertilize that area. It's like the easiest freaking way to fertilize an area is with ducks or geese like that, because you just move that little pond around.
Yeah, you bring that up. You see that thing behind me?
Yeah, the chicken tractor or the duck tractor or whatever you're using. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for the
Yeah.
ducks, and I'm doing that exact same thing you just mentioned in this spot because I'm putting another garden in next year in this area. I had one here before, but I moved it. I moved it because it was because of the ducks. I had to fence it in, and I just decided to redo it in a little bit more well lit area. So I'm going to have two gardens just like the one that I showed the other day, and the ducks are fertilizing that for me right now. But yeah, that's really the best way that I've seen to take care of like these messy poopers, the ducks and the geese and swans. Even I saw somebody that had a pond with swans in it, and their swans lived in something like this because you can move it around. It doesn't concentrate in one area, and that's the problem with these messy poopers. So
Now, see, if they were allowed to roam a whole acre, they don't do that. But the problem is we don't have whole acres that they get to do whatever they want in them because we have certain areas we don't want them. So having these like chicken tractors, duck tractors, all of that, not only does it have a pen for them, it also safety for them too. If you had a crazy dog run into your backyard, that little tractor thing would keep them safe too. If you live in an area that you have to worry about that, that's another thing people don't think of. Like, oh, they're like, oh, but my animal's in a cage. No, your animal's also safe in that cage. Something can't also get to it in that cage, you know, but you supply it clean water, you move it around, it has better access in that cage to beautiful soil than anybody else with like these. Some people, they have these cages that these chickens have these bare ground and it's just nothing for them to peck on. It's just this hard, nasty ground. And how would you want to stand on that all day?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So with those ducks, they're only in there at night. The dog puts them up at night, and they stay in there at night to be protected from the wild animals. We have coyotes and foxes, and it's like they're sitting ducks, so to speak.
Sitting ducks is the reason they say that. Put your ducks away at night. And the bad thing is they'll get up early in the morning and they'll fly out. If you didn't know that, they fly out early sometimes before you get up, and that's when the predators are out. So if any of you have ducks out there and you don't want your pets to get killed, you gotta have cages for these things at night sometimes.
Yep.
And chickens go in really easy at night, by the way. If you let chickens out for a little while, and then they go in really easy at night. Ducks do too, from what I understand. My geese fairly do. All I have to do is kind of herd them in. They go in really easy too. So I don't know.
Our chickens do the same thing. They just go in at dusk. It's like there's a clock and there's a certain light level, and they just go in and start perching. So we got a few chickens that are out roaming right now. And yeah, I agree with you. Is don't keep your animals on something that you wouldn't want to live on. That really doesn't make any sense, because then you're not doing anything better than what the cage farmers were doing with the chickens and stuff. Like you're not stepping it up at all. So that's why that chicken tractor is important, and you have a nice sized run for, like, this is my chicken run / dog run. And you see all the green in there. There's plenty of room.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful lush run for them. Yep. Same with mine. I have a big, beautiful run, and I just, you're exactly right. You're not doing any better than the people that farm on large scales that have these things in cages. If you're not cleaning the water, if you're not keeping clean and thing, and also know about their nutritional. A lot of people don't understand that they need eggshells. Calcium. They're laying these eggs that are full of calcium. They need that back in their diet. So there's reasons that they have to have crustaceans and bugs and all that stuff. And if they don't have all that, they're going to need extra minerals and extra stuff in their diet. So that's another thing that people don't realize. It's not just go out and buy a bag of dog food like you've been kind of taught too, right?
Yeah. They require a lot of protein too. It's both ducks and chickens. You think about what they're doing, like what they're putting in that egg for you. They need to replenish, like she was saying. They need to replenish all of that stuff. So you need to be conscious about what's going in. Our chickens eat really, really well. They eat a lot better than we do if we were an animal like that.
Sadly,
anyway,
my chickens do sometimes eat better than I do.
Yeah, I pay more attention to what they're eating the more than I do myself. Yeah, I guess is what we're both saying here.
I think a lot of people could say that about how they farm their cannabis plants too.
Yeah. So I've got some yellows to get rid of, as Drake was pointing out earlier. It's not good to have, but I've got one that's really, really fading out nice out there. So I gotta go out there and do some plucking. As I was gonna do that as soon as lunch was over. I didn't know when this started, so I just decided to check and see if you guys were on.
To tell you, we're trying to go live at 9 a.m. Pacific every Wednesday and every Saturday. We're just really trying to stay right around 9 a.m. A few times we've been late because we've been waiting for guests and stuff, and I didn't want to complicate things. So we've really been trying to stick to 9 a.m. Pacific time, so you all can tune in on a regular basis with us. Because this is definitely a way to build a community. It's coming and sharing stuff like this, inviting people on like you. It's so awesome to meet you finally. And like the knowledge that you've shared in chat and now getting to hang out with you on here. This is really cool. Thanks, Elka, for joining today.
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to do it. I appreciate what you do.
Ah, it's been awesome. Drake, you have any questions for Elka?
At this point, I'd love you to just come back. As always, we'd like to go more in depth. I mean, we definitely got you for probably longer than you had expected today. So appreciate that and all the insights. So many good little heater tips. And that's what you get when you're able to talk with people that have been doing something for a very long time. So again, thank you very much, Elka. We appreciate it. I love to see your little ducks running around. That always brings a smile to my face. And yeah, we just love to talk again soon.
All right, we'll do that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Elka.
Saturdays usually work better for me. I'm a pretty busy dude, as you can imagine. So yeah, I was nice to catch up with you guys at lunch today. Y'all mentioned Wednesday, so I thought that I would try to see when you all were on. So yeah, it's been fun. Y'all have a nice day, okay?
Appreciate it, man. You too.
Bye. Oh, that was
later.
awesome. I'm so glad he jumped on, and it's totally inspired me to go out and plant some fall stuff. I'm telling you, Oka, I'm going to go through my seeds. I'm going to go see what I got. Because definitely it's inspired me to get out and plant that fall crop. I don't know about you all.
Yeah, and just a little more insight into some of the things that you can be doing just for your own food supply and for the garden in general. Any of those things is mentioned will obviously grow very well. So even if they're not necessarily your fancy, you can utilize those and then let the biomass break back down, and it can be part of your base fertilizer and help break up the soil and all the fun stuff.
Exactly. And Stony Baker says he's live every day at 4:20. I'm guessing 4:20 Pacific. And Stony gets baked.
Oh yeah.
That's an appropriate name. Stony Baked. Heard. Love you, Stony. You're awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, Mike, how are you? Thanks for coming by this morning. And John, how are you? Overgrow, overshare, overcare. We love you. Overlove, John. Hell yeah. Ahmed, how are you today? Washed silica, played sand. Pretty good.
For the ducks.
Oh, for the, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my, I actually have sand that's out like in our like sand dunes. And like I go and get a bucket of that. And like we got a truckload of that and brought it into our property. And I actually have a fresh bucket of sand for them. If I'm going to put them in grass and I'm going to keep them in that, they need to have some grit, because they need to have access to grit to be able to digest that stuff in their gizzards and stuff. So that's another really important thing we didn't touch on. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Good idea. Did I miss anybody? Everything did I get all the questions? Any final things going on? Cameron, cheers. How are you today? I think I said big. How are you? Hello. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us all day. Please hit that thumbs up because it helps. It helps get the word out. And please share if you think somebody might want to come hang out with us on a regular every Wednesday, every Saturday, coming to you at 9 a.m. Pacific time. One more dab.
I won't say
one more
no.
dab before we go.
I won't say no. I'll sneak one more in. I thought I was getting away.
One more. Why not? One more. Oh, and I'm almost out. We're going to cold start some here. Let me put some in. I'm going to get this cold start going. Cold start. Let's do a cold start because that's about all the torch I got left. Dang, I hate when I'm out of fuel and I didn't reload that torch.
Got to keep her close by.
You know, who has 2 torches? I really am thinking about that's just the best way to go. Have that backup torch because, you know, it's really not a good idea to fill your torch and use it right away. It's actually the stuff that actually ruins the seals and stuff in your torches so they don't last as long. Just a little side note.
Is the clicker. What 1,000 dabs in, the clickers seem to go. We got like 3 blazers around right now.
Knock on wood, this one has traveled with me up and down the frickin' Pacific Northwest. That thing has been to Canada and back down to Humboldt and back up to the Emerald Cup. Oh my gosh, that thing has been everywhere. It was definitely worth the investment. these blazers really are, and I don't get any information. I don't promote them at all. I don't make money on them. I got that when I paid for it.
Same
I'm
here.
trying to
Thanks,
make
Rachel.
sure that we say all this stuff now, because YouTube, a lot of people promote things because they get shit for free. Okay. So the next time that you're going to take someone's opinion on whether you should buy something or not, ask them if they got it for free or if they paid for it. That right there will give you the first idea whether you should believe them or not. That's my hint of the day. Food for thought. Drake's hint of the day.
Tara's tip.
Tara's tip of the day. There you go.
Rainwater is great, but it's not necessarily always an awesome thing to have falling onto your plants because it can bring negatives as well. So my tip is to think about that a little more and maybe have a mitigation process for when it rains on your outdoor plants.
Okay,
Good microbe.
never thought I would have to have a mitigation program for when it rains on my plants.
And this is maybe a little overkill. Maybe it's not, but it never hurts to mitigate.
You all have a fantastic day. It was awesome hanging out with you. Again, thanks everybody for being here. Hope to see you all again Saturday morning live at 9 a.m. Pacific. Till then, peace and love, and go spread some love out there.